Tanya. Welcome back to Healing Minds. Today, I want to dive into some fascinating research that can change the way we think about happiness, especially for those of you who are struggling with depression. We all want to be happy, right? But sometimes the way we pursue happiness can actually make us feel worse. So let's explore why that is and what we can do about it. This is based on the article titled, "A New Psychology Study Exposes the Big Problem with Happiness." And this is from the magazine titled Inverse. So the American Psychological Association studied over 1,800 people from 2009 to 2020 and discovered something surprising. They looked at two main aspects of happiness. Number one, aspiring to be happy, and two, being concerned about whether we're happy enough. While aspiring to happiness can be positive, being too concerned with our happiness can actually lead to greater dissatisfaction. Now, if you are dealing with depression, especially severe depression, it's already tough enough, but this can be relevant. Sometimes that pressure to be happy can feel overwhelming. And when we don't measure up to some ideal, it can make us feel even worse. So it's important to recognize that happiness isn't something we can force it, and we can't just chase it relentlessly. Instead, we need to find small moments of contentment even on our toughest days. Now, in the second part of the study, researchers found that about worrying about our happiness without actively working towards it can actually decrease our well-being over time. So if you constantly ask yourself, am I happy enough? Or why can't I just be happy? It might be time to shift your focus, because those questions are actually putting more pressure on yourself, especially if you don't feel it and it's not happening. You're making it harder on what you are experiencing at that moment. So instead of worrying about happiness, try to set small, achievable goals that bring you closer to a sense of well-being. So, for example, rather than trying to feel happy, focus on one thing each day that brings you some peace or relief. Whether it's taking a walk, reading a book, enjoying your morning coffee, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. These are some things that you have to think about according to your personal life, what is happening, and handling those challenging days. So, but these small steps can gradually build a foundation for a greater well-being. And the third part of this research study introduced something called meta-emotions. Meta-emotions are feelings that we have about our emotions. So, for example, if you are feeling down and then you start beating yourself up for not being happy, that's an example of a meta-emotion. The researchers found that these negative meta-emotions can significantly increase our dissatisfaction, especially if you're going through your depression and you're making yourself feel worse when you are already feeling bad, asking yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why can't I be happy? Why am I angry? Why am I frustrated? Why am I sad? Instead of just accepting those emotions are part of being human and part of your experiences that are going on right now. So another thing, if you're struggling with depression, that this is crucial, is to fall into that trap again of I should be happy. Why am I still feeling like this? Like you have to have a deadline for your depression. But what if instead you just simply acknowledge your feelings and just let them happen without judgment instead of rejecting them or denying them, making him feel like it's not normal when it is normal. So, for example, if you're feeling sad, stop criticizing yourself. You could say, I'm just feeling sad right now, and that's okay. This acceptance can reduce the pressure to feel a certain way and help you focus on managing your emotions rather than fighting them. And the researchers in this study suggest that one of the keys to better well-being is accepting your feelings as they are without constantly comparing yourself to the ideal state of happiness or comparing yourself to other people. This can be especially helpful when dealing with depression. Instead of just forcing happiness, which most times won't happen, during depression, try to accept your emotions, whether they're positive or negative, and notice that that's how life is. You're going to have the positive and the negative. So, for example, if you're going through a tough day, instead of pushing yourself to feel better, like, oh, I have to feel better. No, you don't have to feel better. That's why you're having a tough day. Give yourself a permission to simply feel the way you are feeling and letting it be acceptable and normal. So, but when those things happen, you still need help because you don't want to be in that place for a long time, or you want to be able to manage it, to be able to function. So maybe you need to take a break. Maybe you need to reach out to someone you trust and have a good conversation and having somebody listen to you, or doing something comforting. And that's for you to decide what that is during those really tough days. So again, acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It just means acknowledging where you are right now and being gentle with yourself. Because I feel that a lot of people can be hard on themselves, especially the more severe the depression. So anyways, to wrap this all up, the pursuit of happiness isn't chasing after an elusive goal or constantly worrying about whether you're happy enough. Just stop and please give yourself a break. There is no such thing as constant happiness. It's an ideal that's unattainable. It's about finding small moments of peace, because believe me, you need peace in the chaos of depression, accepting your emotions and taking things one day at a time. Your mantra should be one day at a time. If you're struggling again with depression, remember that happiness isn't something you need to force. That's why we have that quote you've heard, it's okay not to be okay. It's just okay to be just where you are and to take care of yourself in whatever way you can and not to give up on yourself. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share it with somebody you need, and leave comments. And don't forget to take care of yourself and take it one step at a time. Thank you, everyone. Bye.